All right, let's check out all the movies I saw in May. Let's get into it. I'm slowly losing wall. Okay, so yeah, we're kicking off the month with The Wedding Banquet and Thunderbolts. Bit of an odd month for movies this month, but we'll get into that a bit soon. Let's just talk about The Wedding Banquet. This one I thought was going to be pretty mid. Look, I'm going to probably spoil a little bit of The Wedding Banquet. I do apologize. Yeah, so big spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, but I highly suggest you take the girlies to go see it and have some tea. I think that's kind of where I'm at with that one. It's very much a messy tea drinky kind of movie. It's very fun. That's just like without spoiling too much. Anyway, now I'm gonna spoil. Okay, the story is about a gay couple and a lesbian couple trying to convince one of the gay guy's grandparents that he is straight in order to get the inheritance. They stage a wedding, and one of the lesbian with one of the lesbian partners. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, but no, the plot twists are quite strong in this film. It's like kind of plot twist galore between cheating to, you know, all these extra bits and bobs that I don't want to spoil too much because it is one of those movies that you're like, have some tea, and you just kind of slapping your friend, just going, oh my god, the drama. And then you'll say something outlandish, and then it ends up happening, and you're just like double hyped. Yeah, the movie's fun. It's like literally every single person in this movie is like a walking red flag. If a red flag was a person, it'd be like all these characters. They're all kind of got issues. My main issue with this film is like the pacing. The first 20 minutes is kind of slow. Yeah, the down parts are down, but the good parts are good. Also, they had a Kingdom Hearts reference, and that was just like, that was for me. So I'm gonna say this is a fine for a drama rom-com. Like I don't really watch too many of them, as you can see. The twists alone, it's like a 6, maybe a 7. Next we saw Thunderbolts. Is Marvel finally back? Like, yeah, maybe. The movie's fun. However, it feels like two movies kind of like mashed into one. Like the first half of this film is like this escape room-esque military government conspiracy film, and the second half is like Marvel versions of Homelander. And the tone of these movies goes places that I didn't expect it to go. Like having an all-powerful being outclass the heroes pretty effortlessly is a nice change. But the issue I have, and I have a lot of issues with these main characters, it can feel a little bit like this is the B team, and it's supposed to be like that, right? It's supposed to be like these, you know, lesser characters. Your Marvel, your Guardians of the Galaxy kind of esque guys, right? But like characters like Ghost is kind of done dirty. She barely gets like any screen time. Like the story, big event taking place in New York where Spider-Man and, you know, Daredevil should be there at some point. I know, yeah, you can't really put all your characters in together. It's like, you have to think about that stuff. The movie is fun. The movie's fun. It does delve into a lot of darker topics that I didn't expect it to. It was a nice change of pace and a nice new formula. Again, when all the characters are on screen and having a chat is good, but they need someone to bounce off of that's a bit more stronger as a character. I'm not saying the performance is bad, I just think the characters are a little bit lacking. Yeah, it's like another 6, it's another 7. Marvel is kind of on a good track. I've heard reports recently that Thunderbolts is actually underperforming, which is sad. Which is sad because, again, it's a good one. It's probably better than Captain America. But, you know, it's just your marketing push behind this was quite expensive. Okay, so another 2 films. We'll continue on. Tina? Tina? Is that right? I think the camera's just flipped it. So I watched Tina. The inflection on the A is important. I don't watch many drama, like, movies here on The Only Angle. I kind of just watch whatever I feel like and whatever's on and whatever looks appealing. But, you know, this one had a necessary amount of buzz to it. And, yeah, I'm not disappointed in this film. Like, again, drama films aren't exactly my cup of tea. I don't really want to watch them in cinemas, but this one's good. You know, it's about a music teacher who has to deal with the grief of her child. And again, not the most uplifting film that's on this wall here, but it's a pretty good time. I don't know how many people know people from New Zealand. They kind of had this like laid back attitude of things just going with the flow, and that in contrast with what's going on is pretty solid. You know, your deeper themes are quite prevalent and they maybe are a bit too blunt with it, but it's good. It's a good time. Like I'm not I was definitely, a little bit emotional towards the end. Yeah, there's parts that make you laugh, there's parts that make you cry. It's not like a comedy, but it's just like it's an equal tone thing, and they did a good job. I want to say that there was like a camera shaking theme to it that was quite prevalent with it throughout the film, but I can't exactly pin if that was the movie shaking the camera or it was the cinemas next door. I don't know if that was them shaking our cinema, so I can't exactly say that there was camera shake, but my experience was that there was camera shake. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just what it was, right? Yeah, it's like a 7, it's like an 8, depending on how good you like, drama films. It tells a good story. It's very sweet. For some people more than others, it'll hit hard. All right, so now we're talking about Red Envelope. This one's wild to talk about because if this movie's plot sounds familiar, you may have seen it already. A heterosexual macho man who was a criminal trying to reform as a police informant, finds a red envelope with a soul bonding to a homosexual man who he has to marry. And it continues on with them solving the ghost murder and having a new appreciation and perspective. Which, surprise, is also the plot of Bury My Dead Body that came out in 2023, a Korean drama on Netflix. Now, I don't know how close these two are, but after some research, because I do almost all of research on the angle, the similarities are shocking, as well as that, like, at the end of Red Envelope, they legit name drop Marry My Dead Body as an inspiration. Marry My Dead Body and Red Envelope are essentially carbon copies of each other, but in different languages. I'm pretty sure Marry My Dead Body is like a Korean K-drama. Again, can't confirm that. Do with this information as you will. Like and subscribe. It's just what it is, right? While we are here, I might as well talk about the movie itself. It's not a masterpiece. The movie has the issue of having your cake and eating it too. It wants to be this like wacky story about a gay ghost murder, but it also wants to be a serious drama with, and I just don't think the two tones work very well. But I think it's also just this movie. You can do it in other films, but just this one just doesn't hit. Like, when the comedy hits, it's pretty good. The absurdity of it really works for me. And look, call me a child, right? But the sound effects when the people get beat up made me giggle. Damn it, you make a funny noise, I may laugh. It's just my humor is broken. But the plot is my issue, right? For everything that it rips off from the other one, the plot is the issue. Every new plot point is so long, it falls into like, and then this happened tropes, if that makes sense. It goes from, there's a scene there where he goes home, lies on the bed, and the dog, tells him to look at his bag, and ta-da, more plot. It happens more than once, that maybe it was intentional, but I'm not sure. It's a decent time. The dad character is definitely the worst. I don't know, maybe give it a watch. I don't know. It's like a 6 out of 10. Not for everyone. I did like parts. Anyway, alright. More movies. More posters.
Did someone say posters? Hell yeah. This movie slaps.
Yes, watch a couple more films to round out the rest of the month. Oh boy, where do I start with this one? I have a lot to say about a movie that doesn't deserve it. It's a waste of time, but in a way that's strange and baffling, that no one at any point thought to just pull the plug. I'm going to give credit to the bare minimum of this film. For the first 10 minutes, this film had fun and experimental camera work. For the first 10 minutes. After that, the film is almost motion sickness inducing. If I watched this in a VI headset, I would probably throw up. The acting, while Jenna Ortega tries, I'm just using that loosely. Everyone else just shits the bed. The Weeknd cannot act. The clip going around of him crashing out, it's just as good with context as it is without context. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. That was probably just as good as The Weeknd just then. Barry Keoghan is barely audible for some dumb reason. Maybe I'm going deaf. He is either mumbling or drunk or a combo of the two. But 85% of the time, I could not understand a single word out of that guy's mouth. The plot? The plot is almost non-existent. So this is the plot, right? It's trying to suck its own dick of trying to portray Abel, aka The Weeknd, as The Weeknd. As this tortured abuse, this tortured artist, and he's like struggling with like people being under him and like pushing him to do more, and you know his life is so hard, and then a crazy fan gets to him and then just tortures him for a while. Like that's essentially the plot. But you get to the point where you sit through a full weekend song by The Weeknd, either performed like a concert or played through a phone speaker while Jenna Ortega dances. No joke. This is like the things that happen in the film. It's like incomprehensible. Like really, it's really hard to understand what is going on. Like this is probably the best experience I could have had with this movie, because it was a completely dead cinema and the Stockholm syndrome kicked in, where we like all crashed out at the same time, and there were so many moments that were insane but like so fruitless. Like I cannot recommend this movie to anyone besides the hardcore cynics like myself, like just the people who want to see trash films. I'm giving this one like a -2, but like in a way that I'm like, it should people should still seek this movie out, but only for like the irony of it. You know, it should not be one of those ones that people are like watching earnestly. There are better like so bad it's good films out there. All right, then we watched Final Destination. Now let's talk about a real movie. The newest Final Destination film, like what's this, Bloodlines? I have not seen any of the other films, but like their legacy is like I'm well aware. The gymnast scene, the log scene, the general vibes, and this one just nails it. Like it just rocks. It has this perfect blend of seriousness and self-awareness, as well as it knows when to tease the audience, but not in like a jokey like way, like an edging kind of way. All the characters shine, and honestly the character Eric steals the show. Like I loved him in, what was he in? The 100. He was probably like my favorite character in that. I didn't watch all 100, but the stuff I watched, I was like, yeah, that guy was the best. Anyway, he deserves to be in more films. Shout outs to him. He's great. Like after his death, I did check out a little, but again, like the film's pacing was like almost perfect. The start's a little bit like long, but you know, it kind of doesn't hold your hand explaining it to you, because it expects you to understand what is going on from the other films, and it just kind of goes, yeah, the plot's like not exactly the most complicated thing in the world, so we can just kind of move on from that. And that's good. It's very strong for that, because it knows that it doesn't need to like heavy hand explain the plot. It still does it at sometimes, and it's a little bit like, okay, but in a way that's like explaining it to the characters on screen, not explaining to you, the audience, so I don't feel as hand-holded. I don't know. It's good. It's good. I like the pacing of this film quite a lot. The ending is awesome. I just think it's like this perfect, like sudden ending where they're just like, actually, no. And then everything just kind of hard cuts to black, and that's great. I love that. It's like the best parts about the monkey, like that came out earlier this year. It's like the best parts about that, just like all put into something with like a bit of a stronger standing, you know? It's just, you know, it just hammers it in. It's like, we are a goofy film that's, yeah, very violent and very gory, and we're gonna nail it, you know? It's like a 9 out of 10. It's like a 9 out of 10. It's pretty solid. Like if you've seen the other ones, I don't know how like they compare, but this one on its own, it stands pretty well. I had a great time. That was just me, right? Okay. Now we're up to the big one of the month. The stinky, no good, bad live action remake. I watched Lilo and Stitch, so you didn't have to. Man, you shouldn't, because I don't know what to say about this movie. Have you seen the original? Go watch that. That's it. It's just better, and that's not nostalgia talking. That's just fact. I'm so over live action remakes of animated films already, and that we've only really just begun. We've got How to Train Your Dragon next month, and we've got fucking probably, I don't know, the Moana getting a live action one. And who the fuck knows what else? Despicable Me? Oh god, Despicable Me might get a live action remake. Oh hell nah. Anyway, okay. Sorry, I'm crashing out. This movie is hard to comprehend. Like, I know why they made it. Money. They made it for money. They made it to make money. They made it because it makes money. They made it because the cute blue dog makes a lot of money. But the efforts they went through to change the story and characters from the original is strange. I don't think people really wanted you to completely redo the movie. And I know that's like such a like, I know I'm kind of fighting myself here on my words of like, just why even bother making a remake, right? If you're going to do it, just remake. And I think the How to Train Your Dragon film is just doing that. And I think it's probably going to get a lot better received than this one, because what they changed and what they adapted is just bad. Like, what they changed from the original, it was just not a good play. There's like, sorry, spoilers for the live action remake of a movie that came out in 2002, but they removed Gantu. They completely, like, he's just gone. Jumba is now the main villain. Pleakley is now completely incompetent. Like, if you're changing things completely, you could have just removed Pleakley from the film entirely. He doesn't actually have that much impact, and any impact that he does have, you could just pawn it off to another character and it would be fine. This movie is a mess. Like the biggest spoiler of all, Nani gives Lilo gives Lilo over to, like, the Child Protective Services, like the government, right? I don't understand why they wanted to give Nani, like, a big character arc. She kind of had a decent one in the original film. But the movie is called Lilo and Stitch. It's not Nani, Lilo, and Stitch. It's just those two characters, and Stitch is just a dog. He doesn't even really do anything that, like, connects to the plot. He's just there. Like, this live action remake is just not good. Again, it's just gonna be me trying to say that the original is better, and it is better, right? It's just a better film, because the first half of this film is pretty much closely connected to the original, like, material, and then it just goes off in this, like, completely different direction where they just pull all the focus into Nani and the struggles. And I know it's probably because it's an animation budget issue, and because animating the blue dog, animating this little fucker on screen the entire time is hard work, and it costs a lot of money and takes time. Like, I know that's what probably is the background behind it. So a lot of the time, you do get just, like, a lot of live action, like, people just kind of standing around talking at you for 30 minutes until the budget kicks back in. It was the same issue with I had with Minecraft. That's your issue, is you have to kind of fill the gap where animating this blue dog, they're kind of cutting down a lot of that. And that's, again, why Pleakley and Jumba are both, Zach Galifianakis, and they're just in human form the whole time, because it's too hard and too expensive to animate, like, them into a scene. And it's just like, man, it's super annoying and it's super frustrating to watch on screen, and it's just like, there's so much more that I have been told about this film that I can't fully explain, because I don't have the depth or the knowledge to do that. There's some, like, military propaganda in this film. It's just wild. And the saddest part is, I loved Dean Fleischer. He made Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is honestly probably in my top 20 films, because it is so strange and so unique and so charming. It is just, and to be given this, I just hope he got the money. I hope he got the bag. I hope he made a lot of money from this movie, so then he doesn't ever have to work with Disney again, and he can make whatever the heck he wants, because I feel like he's not a bad guy. He didn't do this intentionally. I just think he just had to do it to get the bag, and now that he's got the bag, I'll do more independent films, please. Yeah, and your acting's not very good in this film either, but that's, child acting, not a fan. This one made me crash out, not gonna lie. I definitely, like, as I was sitting there in the cinema, I was just sitting there, just kind of just stewing. This film was like a 2 out of 10. Kids might love it, but I'd just also say go see the original and get an overpriced plush. Like, it's just what it is. It makes me so sad. Like, I'm not happy. I didn't pay for a ticket. That's all I'm saying. Or maybe I did. That I'm not going to self-report myself. But, if I could go back time, I wouldn't have paid for a ticket. I would have just snuck in. Again, we finished off with a Bollywood film. We ended up watching Narivetta. I will fix that in post if I am wrong. Finishing off the month, we end up watching a Tamaliwood. It's, different variation of Bollywood films. This one is interesting. The cinema my friend group goes to, like, we frequent, had a big premiere for the showing, where, like, the actor showed up and they had to, like, there was a lot of hype behind it. So, this film, after seeing, I think it was just because the actor was here. I don't think it was for like the movie itself. I think just because the actor was here, people were like, oh, this actor is a big deal. He's been in movies before, kind of deal, right? After seeing this film, I don't know. It's okay. From where this movie starts to where it ends is not the same film. Finding out this is also a true story. I'm not sure how informed about the situation people are expected to be before watching this film. You know what I mean? It's like one of those ones. It's like you have to have some kind of knowledge to understand, to fully understand and like the weight of the scenario itself. Like I understood the conflict from the context of the film, but, if you were, more affected or you kind of just know more about the situation beforehand, it might hit differently. But it's fine, right? But the pacing is pretty good. Bollywood films, have a runtime of about like 3+ hours. But this one felt easier to get through and more thought out. Like it didn't feel as sometimes disconnected than some of the other films I've seen. The acting was good. I think they could have had more of an explored ending. There's okay, look, I've probably seen maybe about 10 different Bollywood films now. Like I'm probably not gonna slow down anytime soon. They're a fun time, the ones that are good are good. I've seen Bahubali and I've seen a bunch of other ones, and those, and including this one here, they all kind of have this wrapped up ending where they're like, I knew that you knew that I knew that I was going to do a thing. It's like Light Yagami from Death Note. They all kind of had this like, aha, I gotcha moment where it's like, yeah, they kind of just like set up these traps that you don't see at all. And it feels a bit rushed to get to the ending for like a lot of these films. And which is a little bit odd considering your film is like, running 3+ hours long most of the time. That's just me crashing about like Bollywood films, and sometimes the structure's a little bit annoying. But this one also has that effect in this movie as well. Like the movie's good, and then it like the last like 20 minutes, they kind of like, oh yeah, here's the ending. They're like, oh, this is all. Anyway, that's just how this movie ends. It felt a little bit rushed. Ending aside of things, it's a pretty solid good time if you're an Indian film enjoyer. Like it's a 7. Like it's not. I didn't actually really like mind this one too much. But if you haven't seen many like Bollywood Indian films, like maybe this might not be the one to start. Like this is maybe not like very beginner friendly, because it is a little bit like there's a couple of different tropes in there where you have to just accept, and it's very much you have to kind of just be and exist and like focus, I guess. There's some other ones where they're like a bit more bombastic and weird. I've seen a good handful now that maybe I can like recommend, like, Bollywood films that are like a good beginner friendly ones. I don't know, like and subscribe to the thing. Maybe let me know in the comments below of if there are any like, suggestions on ideas and stuff. Because like I can make that if you guys are like interested. If me yapping on about Bollywood films has at least piqued your interest in like, expanding horizons. I know I also don't watch too many foreign films. I'm trying to expand my horizons. Not the point. Anyway, all right. Well, everyone, this has been The Wall. This has been the movie wall. It's a bit of an interesting month for movies this month. But Final Destination was solid. Everything else was not awful. Like I probably could recommend all the films I've seen except the fucking that little blue dog and maybe that one. But like I don't know. Even then, they'll have the people who go see them. I mean, no one saw this one, and no one should see this one. Oh, no one should see this one. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So this has been The Wall, everyone. Next month is going to be pretty interesting. We do have a couple of like the bigger ones for the year coming out. We're getting into like the July 4th Christmas holiday, like the middle of the year holidays. So, there's a couple good spots coming up. You've got How to Train Your Dragon. Not excited for that one, but I'll go see it. No one else should. Live action remakes are ass. Ballerina. There's a couple of like smaller ones. You got Dangerous Animals, which is like the guy with the shark fetish. And hopefully a couple more like little smaller ones down the road that I'm quite excited for. All right. Well, until then. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.